Hi all, welcome to another episode of Masterclass with Swati Gupta. So today we are diving really deep into a bunch of makeup, bridal makeup, party makeup, everything in terms of makeup while Swati gets her nails done over here. So hi Swati,
Hi, Marin. You will not give me any moment of peace, will you?
catching you whenever possible.
Yeah, just getting ready. It's a important festive time.
Mm-hmm.
So getting ready for some functions that are coming up.
Of course. So, Swati, we're going to talk majorly about bridal makeup, everything when it comes to makeup, party season. We are getting into party season right now, right? And I'm pretty sure the public has a lot of questions revolving around makeup, how to choose the right foundation, what do you do for your makeup to sit really well on your skin, and stuff like that. So, before we dive in, you yourself are very much interested in makeup, you're very passionate about it. So, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
So I started my journey doing hair and makeup. I've studied makeup professionally. So I did my first course when I was in Delhi from a lady who had studied with a school in London. And then when I went to Bombay, I studied makeup. I studied with Mavi Beck. After which, when I traveled to London, I studied makeup again for a fairly long period of time. It was a long course which I did with the Grease Paint Academy. And I pursued makeup on the floor for a long time. I attended to brides, I attended to bridal makeups, we did catalogs, shoots, a lot of this work for, I think, a good 18, 20 years of my journey. I've worked with brides. It's something which brings me a lot of joy. There's nothing like seeing a bride ready on her,
Her
main day, final day. And I think at that point of time, I think people maybe even came to me, or maybe I was recommended, and maybe I worked with so many faces, because to me every face is very individual. It's speaking its own story, it's got its own features, it's got its own expressions, and I like to keep that face exactly the way it is. So for a very long time I wouldn't use contacts. I would use very, very soft and natural lashes, because they can be accents, but some of these accessories should not become, they should not make you look like an absolutely different person. And to me, if somebody is looking at you and saying, oh my God, I can't even recognize you, why do we have to hide? There's nothing to not recognize. Makeup is meant to maybe, enhance your features. It can subdue your flaws. But personally, it's a very personal choice, of course. But personally, I feel it should not be like you started looking like someone else. You should look like the best version of yourself. So, to me, that's why the makeup journey was such a beautiful journey, with just a little, and normally a bride on her bridal day is naturally glorious. There's such a beautiful beauty that's coming about a bride. Taking away from Bridezilla moments and stuff like that. So it's so easy to kind of enhance that. And, you would just see with little touches, just a little element of foundation, just a soft touch of eyeshadow, eyeliners, the whole face is coming alive so beautifully. I don't think it requires
any kind of alteration.
No. Personally, I don't think so.
For sure. Bridal beauty is all. Any kind of makeup is just to enhance, upgrade your entire look. And yeah. Okay, Swati, so here's the first question. Why does skin prep matter so much? How is it important? How does it help with that flawless but natural makeup look that everybody's chasing?
So, I mean, your skin, what you call your base, your foundation is literally that. It's the foundation. It is what is setting the base for anything else that you might want to build. So, to me, more than even just your primers and your foundations and your bases and whether you go cream, whether you go liquid, before any of that, I think a natural glow, a natural hydration, a natural base, which is a good base to work on, a healthy base to work on, is critical. So even before, and when at Bodycraft we do a very detailed journey with any bride or even bridegroom, we really want them to understand how critical it is to invest in the pre-bridal more than just the main day.
Main day, yeah.
Right? There's just, and at times in the past, it's been such a struggle when I used to work with faces. If the faces are extremely dry, if because of a change of weather or maybe bride has traveled a lot, they're coming with, faces which are not nourished, skin textures which are uneven. It can be so tricky because so much effort then goes into trying to cover it, trying to camouflage it. So if you are coming with texture which is, nourished, which is naturally moist, which is got some evenness to it, simple things like your hair not showing up, a mild bleach being done, some of these things can help so much in making sure that, your foundation is correct. So invest in good pre-bridal. To me, that's critical. Having a journey of skincare, whether it is clinical or it is beauty-based. So you can do a combination. If you're the sorts who likes to do peels, likes to do certain laser treatments, then do a combination of laser, peels, etc. with facial treatments, because that nourishment, that glow, nothing brings it alive like a good facial. A journey which is not just one sitting or two sittings, but maybe traveling over 8 weeks, 10 weeks is a good journey, not just even for the face, for your entire, your head to toe treatments. So your hair kind of comes alive, your body is nourished, it is scrubbed, it's exfoliated. So we believe that a bride or even the groom should feel like Cleopatra before their days. Those 2 months should be about, reducing the stress, reducing whatever we can do to kind of make it a slightly easier journey is important, and that reflects. You will see how much difference it makes to, your overall personality if you're feeling balanced, if you're feeling your face is reflecting it, your hair is speaking that language, your overall body is, is responding to that. So I think that's a very, very critical piece. It's important that you do. And at Bodycraft, we have some fantastic skin therapies that are mainly for pre-bridal. Our gold treatments, our antiox treatments, our radiance treatments. A lot of these facials are focused towards, towards that journey. The foundation, the base, when you actually work on the main day, to me, there should be some, what used to be at one time BB cream, what is now primer, what is now. So yes, definitely there should be some prep which is done for the cream. If you're able to kind of do like a cold water, ice water, kind of a rinse just before you start, that's great. It really helps to kind of camouflage your pores, tighten up your skin, firm it up. And it's a great therapy to start with. If your eyes are tired, if you're overall feeling, it makes you feel really alive. The blood kind of comes gushing back to your face. So, your color comes alive. So I would say that's the best way to start. It's the best form of natural therapy to start a makeup session. You obviously prep up your skin with with whatever, an artist, or if you believe in doing your makeup yourself, then prep it up with your primer. I feel the base or the foundation ideally should be as light as possible, even if you're working with high definition products and products which are meant to reflect well in photography. Work with products which are light in consistency. They should not feel heavy. They should not, don't get so carried away by wanting to look absolutely flawless that you keep applying layer after layer. So one is work with light products. Second, I feel work with limited layering technique. Don't, if you're going to be doing, if your skin requires, normally a concealing to me should be done as per the requirement. You don't need a concealer all over the face. You're meant to conceal something. So just conceal what is required. If you have an under eye problem, if you have a certain pigmentation around the face, if you have maybe one or two breakouts, then mainly conceal that. But you don't need to apply a layer of concealer all over the face. Post which you obviously work your foundation, which I feel should be liquid, very light cream base if you need to. Maybe not very heavy pancake based kind of foundations unless you really want to kind of have a very heavy layer. My suggestion is work light, whatever the weather might be. And even whatever the time of the day might be. I feel the foundation is not really around whether it's a day look or it's an evening look or it's a, winter makeup or it's a summer makeup. I think your foundation should be something which is mainly allowing your skin to breathe, which is brightening your complexion, but not changing your complexion, and which is just giving you that feel of having a very fluid, dewy, flawless kind of a complexion. I think that's what a foundation is meant to do. Okay. And I think that's what we should focus on, right? Thankfully, the trend is changing. When I used to work, it was a craze to look fair, and I can understand that sentiment, but I don't vouch for the sentiment.
So Swati, how do brides usually select their color palette when it comes to makeup? What is the approach behind it? Does it have to be dependent on the outfit that you're wearing, or what is the approach in general?
So I think, Merin, I mean, I don't think anything really has to match per se. It is critical, and these days, thankfully, with so many young, innovative designers, kind of, your market is flooded with creativity, with so many options for a bride, whether you want to work with a budget or you want to work with extravagance. You have so many options available, and there's an intelligence around what a designer is maybe recommending for a bride. So what's most important, according to me, is that firstly, the bride should choose the right color of her outfit. To me, that is most important, right? Pick colors which are, even if they are the cliche, I love the reds, the maroons, the pinks, the vibrance that comes across, the glow that comes across on your skin with these colors. Nothing. It's unmatched. Of course, there is a serenity and a very, very surreal feeling that comes across with the whites, with the peaches, with the creams, the beiges. So I feel, firstly, choose the right family of color that you work with. A lot of them are having a minimum of 3 functions. So play around with color. Don't be afraid of it, right? Work the aqua colors, work the mehndis, yellows, the oranges, work the reds. So play the families so that you're bringing that alive with your costume. The makeup per se, very honestly, it's not like if you're wearing blue, you have to do blue, or if you're wearing orange, you're going to do orange. And if you're doing orange eyes, you have to do orange lips. I mean, there's, over here, I feel, go as without boundaries and rules as possible, right? Just sometimes working with the champagne tones, the golds, the rust family, just some of that is amazing. Soft pinks, hues of a very, very soft reds can be great tones to work with. The tricky ones can sometimes be the aqua colors. If you want to play around with greens, if you want to play around with blues, sometimes if you want to play around with a very lilac kind of a color. Because sometimes if it is the wrong shade of blue or violet, it may pull you down. It may highlight your under eye. Your dark circles might start, so you might start looking a little more gray in comparison. So that can be a little tricky to work with. If you do want to have an element, then working with a really fun eyeliner can be a great way to work. So to just kind of bring the look alive, you can have a beautiful aqua liner that you work with. You can bring it alive through just the corners rather than having an entire shadow. You can bring it about with your glitter. There's so many creative ways to kind of bring an element of a, burst of color alive rather than having an entire shadow in that color. And if you've done that, if you've gone, let's say, heavy on the glitter, if you've really smoked up your eyes, if you have brought in like a aqua or a bright, violet alive in your eyes, then I feel let the eyes be the feature that you're really highlighting. Glam it up with your eyelashes. If you want to work with contacts, then really glam the whole look up. And then undertone your lips. However, I feel doing subdued, very, very soft, very, very heavy eyelash, heavy eyebrow kind of eyes, but minimal on the colors, and then really bright lips is a beautiful look to work with as well. And very honestly, now even these don't have rules anymore. You can do a smoky and wear a bold red, and you're still able to carry it off beautifully. So I feel there's no boundary anymore. There's no theory, there's no boundary, there's no strong rules and definitions around the fact that this eye shape can do winged eyeliner, they can't do smoky, you're able to kind of, even different eye shapes, different features of the face are able to carry different looks very, very well. Makeup has evolved to such a large extent.
Correct.
So I think more than trying to figure my jewelry, of course you can't do very sharp contrast if you're wearing white jewelry, if you're wearing a lot of diamond, if it's set in, platinum, or if it's that, silver in nature, then you obviously can't have gold hues. It will be a slightly stark contrast.
Correct.
So you have a little bit of that relevance available to you. But I don't think it needs to be the defining factor of what your look needs to be about. Right? I think the definition of the look should come through on the overall feel. What atmosphere you're going to be in. Are you going to be dancing? Are you in front of the fire? Is it the daytime? Is it the nighttime? Is it a subdued lighting? Is it a very, very bright lighting? And what are you wearing? Right? So I think that whole conceptualizing of a look is not just makeup alone, jewelry alone, clothes alone. Even 15, 18 years when I used to do makeups, I used to ask the bride to bring their blouses, to bring their, some pieces of their trousseau to give me an understanding of what the venue is like, a little bit of an understanding of what the decor is like. Is it an interactive reception evening, or is it on the stage? Some of these factors bring a big difference to how the overall look will come alive.